Lakers Nation, buckle up because we're about to dive into one of the most mind-bending trade scenarios that's been floating around NBA circles. And it involves sending the king himself to our biggest rivals in the Bay Area. We're talking about a potential blockbuster that would ship LeBron James and Bronny James to the Golden State Warriors in exchange for Jimmy Butler and a 2028 first-round pick. Before you throw your phone across the room or start burning your LeBron jerseys, let's break down this absolutely wild proposal and examine whether there's any universe where this makes sense for the purple and gold faithful. Dan Angel from Sports Illustrated has thrown this nuclear trade bomb into the conversation, and the reason behind it is actually more complex than you might initially think. The core argument revolves around the Lakers potentially wanting to avoid a long-term financial commitment to LeBron while positioning themselves for a post-King era that could center around building around Luka Doncic. Here's where this gets really interesting from a strategic standpoint. The Lakers would essentially be trading away basketball royalty to acquire a still elite but aging Jimmy Butler, along with future draft capital that could be used to build around younger stars. It's the kind of move that would represent a fundamental shift in organizational philosophy, from maximizing LeBron's remaining years to positioning for sustained future success. Let's examine the Lakers' side of this hypothetical deal first. Jimmy Butler, despite being 36 years old, remains one of the most impactful two-way players in the NBA. His defensive intensity and clutch gene are legendary, and he's proven repeatedly that he can elevate his game when the stakes are highest. The guy has dragged Miami Heat teams to the finals through sheer force of will and basketball IQ. But here's the thing that makes this trade scenario so fascinating. Butler's fit alongside Anthony Davis could be absolutely electric. Both players thrive in high-intensity defensive schemes, and Butler's ability to create his own shot while facilitating for teammates could take some of the offensive burden off AD's shoulders. We're talking about pairing two players who understand what championship-level intensity looks like on both ends of the floor. The inclusion of that 2028 first-round pick adds another layer of intrigue. In a league where future draft assets are incredibly valuable, having additional picks gives the Lakers flexibility to either draft young talent or package those assets for future trades. If the organization truly believes they're entering a post-LeBron rebuild, accumulating draft capital becomes absolutely crucial. From Golden State's perspective, this trade represents the ultimate legacy play. Imagine Stephen Curry and LeBron James sharing the same backcourt, two of the greatest players of this generation finally joining forces after years of finals battles. The basketball purist in all of us has to admit that watching those two basketball geniuses operate together would be absolutely mesmerizing. The Warriors would also be getting Bronny James, which add a fascinating subplot to the entire scenario. LeBron has been vocal about wanting to play alongside his son, and Golden State will be providing that opportunity, while also potentially securing a young prospect who could develop within their championship culture. But let's address the elephant in the room. Will LeBron James even consider waiving his no-trade clause to join the Warriors? We're talking about a player who spent years battling Golden State in epic finals matchups, developing what many consider one of the NBA's greatest rivalries. The idea of him joining forces with Curry after all those competitive battles would be like Michael Jordan deciding to team up with the Detroit Pistons. The competitive implications are absolutely staggering. A Warriors team featuring Curry, LeBron, and their supporting cast would immediately become championship favorites. LeBron's basketball IQ combined with Golden State's system and player development could create something truly special. The potential for those two basketball savants to elevate each other's games in their twilight years is genuinely exciting from a pure basketball perspective. For the Lakers, this trade would represent betting on Jimmy Butler's ability to maintain elite production while building for a future that doesn't center around LeBron James. Butler has shown throughout his career that he can carry significant offensive and leadership responsibilities. Even at this stage of his career, his playoff pedigree and clutch gene could provide the Lakers with a different type of star presence. The financial considerations are crucial here. LeBron's contract situation creates some uncertainty for the Lakers' long-term planning, while Butler's deal provides a different type of commitment structure. The organization would be trading away the greatest player in franchise history for someone who could still contribute at an all-star level while giving them more salary cap flexibility. But here's where this trade gets really complicated. The emotional and cultural impact LeBron James isn't just a player for the Lakers. He's a cultural icon who brought a championship back to Los Angeles and has represented the franchise with class and excellence. Trading him to Golden State would be like the Yankees trading Derek Jeter to the Red Sox during his prime years. The defensive implications of adding Butler cannot be understated. Jimmy Butler is still one of the most impactful perimeter defenders in the NBA, and his ability to guard multiple positions would give the Lakers incredible defensive flexibility. Pairing him with Anthony Davis could create one of the most formidable defensive front courts in the league. The leadership transition would be fascinating to watch. Butler is known for his intense, demanding leadership style, which is different from LeBron's more collaborative approach. The Lakers would be trading one type of alpha mentality for another, and the locker room dynamics could shift dramatically. From a pure basketball talent perspective, LeBron is still the superior player even at 40 years old. His court vision, basketball IQ, and ability to impact winning are still elite. Trading him for Butler would be a talent downgrade in the short term, but the Lakers would be betting that the combination of Butler's production plus future assets would provide better long-term value. The Warriors' championship window considerations are equally important. Adding LeBron to their current core could extend their competitive window and potentially deliver another championship before Curry retires. For an organization that's built its culture around winning, adding one of the greatest players ever could be irresistible. The media and fan reaction would be absolutely unprecedented. Lakers fans would be devastated to see LeBron in a Warriors uniform, while Golden State fans would have mixed emotions about embracing their former rival. The storylines and narratives would dominate basketball coverage for years. But let's be realistic about the probability of this actually happening. The Lakers would need to be convinced that their championship window with LeBron is completely closed and that transitioning to a Butler-led team provides better odds for sustained success. That's a massive organizational bet that could backfire spectacularly if Butler's production declines, or if LeBron continues playing at an elite level for several more years. The draft pick compensation seems light for a player of LeBron's caliber, even considering his age. The Lakers might demand additional assets or a different structure to make this type of deal worthwhile. Trading generational talent typically requires generational compensation. So what's the final verdict on this absolutely wild trade scenario? It represents a kind of seismic shift that would reshape the entire NBA landscape while creating unprecedented storylines and competitive implications. Whether it makes sense depends entirely on your belief in LeBron's remaining prime years, Butler's ability to maintain elite production, and the Lakers' long-term strategic vision. What do you think, basketball fans? Is this the type of bold move that could set up both franchises for different types of success? Or would trading LeBron James to the Warriors represent the ultimate betrayal of Lakers' legacy and competitive spirit? The implications are absolutely mind-boggling.